Back to the Bronx Journal. I'm here with the faculty and the Department of Latin American and Puerto Rican Studies. We just had Professor Fiormata's opinion and thoughts of Tato Laviera's performance. So I'd like to get to you, Professor Totti.
Tato is a dear friend. I love Tato dearly, and he is one of the so-called New Rican poets and a true treasure. But Tato is also an activist. He is afflicted now, unfortunately, with diabetes, and he's an activist in the diabetes awareness movement, and has written a play and written, I believe, a novel also on that. So he's a well-rounded individual.
And he did go blind a few years ago.
Because of diabetes, yes. His health is not that good, yes.
Sad. Professor Ricord, what are your thoughts on Mr. Laviera, his performance, his message?
Well, I was very impressed with Tato that night, and there was a poem that really impacted me a lot. That was Bacalaito. And it might, it might be, like a laughter matter, something, like a joke, but it actually represents la cotidianidad, the everyday life of the community, and the fight of the woman selling the bacalaito in the streets. And it's something that can be reproduced through times. It's just like watching in Sunset Park the woman selling tamales. And what is behind that tamales, what is behind, what is in her household, what is in her life, in her family. So that was a very deep a poem that I haven't heard before. And the way he performed it, and the combination of the words, pulsing, the breathing, it was very impacting for me.
Very good. You also had alumni come back for the big celebration. Can you tell me a little bit more about them, just about who came in, who were they, graduation, what everything meant to them?
Actually, we have our honor class, the class that is going to graduate in 2010, all people with very high average. We have like 12. And then we had what is the product of the department. We have somebody from 1975, the first class of graduates from the department after the creation. We also have, like people who graduated in 2004. But all of them have very successful story, and that's the story that we want to deliver to everybody out there looking for an education, and how, we can provide that environment for them.
We have interviews with a couple of them, so we can watch that and kind of get the feel for what they've been through. Please roll the footage.
Yes, I graduated from Lehman College in 2004. After working in the corporate arena for a very long time, I decided to come back to school. And Lehman was an amazing experience for me. I majored in English with a concentration in professional writing, and ended up being the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper of Lehman College, Meridian School Newspaper. After graduation, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, and I did a year in the Civilian Complaint Review Board as an investigator. After that, I ended up teaching English composition at Lehman College because I wanted to finish my master's in English, and realized that I really loved to teach. Eventually became a teacher in the New York City public school system, and I'm currently still teaching high school seniors, and I also teach journalism. And I am the faculty advisor for the newspaper. And the newspaper, along with the work of my amazing students, has already won 2 national awards. I've also been recognized by the New York Times Teachers That Make a Difference Award last year, and it's been an amazing experience. And I know that if it wasn't for Lehman College, and especially the Latin American Studies Department, I want to give just a message to any young student that is thinking about college or thinking about taking this as a major, that there is no way I could have impacted my students the way I impact my students today if it weren't for me knowing my history and my past. And it was through the Latin American Studies Department, and especially my mentor, Professor Milagros Ricord, that I was able to really understand who I was and where I came from in order to help my community. So I urge all students, whether you want to major in it, I think that if your background has anything to do with Latin America, Caribbean, that it is important for you as an individual in whatever it is that you want to do to know where you come from, because that gives you the strength to do the things that you want. And because I was able to do that, I think I was able to realize the American dream. I was able to, along with the help of my mother and family, purchase a home in Pennsylvania, which is one of my mother's dreams. As an immigrant, I was not born here. I came here when I was 4 years old, did not speak the language. I am currently an English teacher, teaching other students how to read and write properly and realize the dream. And I think that it was not just the education, but it was not only the academic education, but it was like the personal education, of knowing who I was. And Lehman gave that to me, and the Latin American Studies Department gave that to me. And without that, I don't think that I would be where I am today.
I am from Puerto Rico, and when I came here, this was the first school that I attended, which they reinforced my studies as a Puerto Rican and Puerto Rican studies. For me, it was a great pleasure to be here today.